Welcome back, Vapeland. This is Steam Room, and today I want to talk about malic acid. Yeah, we're not going to go quite that scientific. So what is malic acid? It's essentially an acidic regulator used in confectionery and brewing. It's a dicarboxylic acid. You have no idea how many times I've tried to pronounce that. I hope it's right. It's a dicarboxylic acid that is naturally made by living organisms. It's a heavy contributor to the pleasant sour taste of most fruits, and it's also a food additive. It was first isolated from apple juice in 1785 by a guy named Carl Scheele. You'll see this old guy up here somewhere. Let's give him proper credit for the discovery. It's been used in e-liquid since 2011, at least as far back as I could read. But let's skip the overly geeky scientific talk. You know that sugary sour powder that is found on the outside of a warhead? Yeah, that's what malic acid is. That's what that is. So what can malic acid do for your e-liquid recipe? So 1 to 2 drops per 10 mil, you're going to find that it enhances or pops those fruit flavors to the front of your recipe. At higher percentages, you're going to see a Jolly Rancher flavor start to take effect. It really is a fun additive to have in your DIY arsenal, and not just for candy flavors. It's also used to enhance fruit like previously mentioned. But it's a fun additive to have, and today we want to figure out what is the most effective and most importantly economical way to use this additive. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to break this down into a simple solution of 20%. Let's do it. All right, so here we are, tabletop. Let's make sure this is nice and focused. Looks good. Okay, so the most important thing in this is going to be malic acid, and it will come in crystallized form such as this. And I will have a link in the description below where you can get your own, varying in sizes.
That's what she said.
You're also going to obviously need propylene glycol. I suggest picking up a bottle from Nature's Oil. You can find this on eBay or on Bulk Apothecary or a similar website. I'll also leave a link for that. You're also going to need a scale to weigh out your solution. And we're going to be using a simple stainless steel spoon to scoop our powder into a Tupperware bowl. Why not? I know everyone has one of these around their house. That's why I've chosen to use it. So what we're going to want to do is put the scale out of the way and fill this bad boy up with PG first. And this is the beautiful thing about using beakers. This is why I enjoy using beakers, because it's simple to measure out large quantities. So we're just going to fill her up. So now we have to measure out 100 grams of malic acid. We're off by 0.05, but whatever. It's not that big a deal. Bring in our beaker and simply pour. I'm going to change the exposure on here. Hopefully you guys can see this a little bit. So now we're going to use our milk frother to stir this up. These are great, by the way. You can pick them up from Walmart, online. It's available so many places. Anywhere pretty much culinary products are sold. Alright, now that that step is over with, we are going to move on to the dissolving portion. Alright, so as you can see, I went and got a crock pot. Now you're going to need a crock pot or a similar method. Microwave will work with a 30 mil, but just be sure to leave it on the lowest setting because you don't want your PG to boil. That's bad. You really don't want to do that. You don't really ever want to get your e-liquid over 150 degrees. So a crock pot in this method works great. I suggest about 30 minutes. Come back, stir it, repeat the process 2 to 3 times until you see that all the crystals have been thoroughly dissolved. So for now, we're just going to wait. Alright, so we have returned. It's been an hour, and I hate waiting, but it's the most economical way to do this, and in DIY, that is one of the factors that I try to highlight. So, I've got a mason jar here, which I bought a 6-pack off of eBay. I'll link something in the description. Good deal for you guys. But I use this for personal and flavor development. So what we're going to do now is we're going to remove this. What you want to do is be careful pulling this out because it is going to be very warm. The crystals have dissolved into the liquid. Be very careful. And pour it. Alright guys, so this has been malic acid. That was loud. I hope you guys learned something. If you did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe. It's going to be a great compound for you to use in your mix because it's going to pop those fruity flavors, or it's going to give you a candy effect. It's going to be very effective if you're using it with a bomb pop recipe or a strawberry recipe, it really doesn't matter. If you're making candy and you're looking for a hard candy kind of flavor, this is going to help you. It really depends on what other concentrates you have with it. So I can't give you a specific number. Anything over 1 to 2 drops per 10 milliliter is going to give you a candy effect. So you want to keep that in mind when using this. Just use 1 to 2 drops per 10 milliliters. Not going to slide it this time. I'm working on a butterscotch custard right now, and I'm debating on adding banana to it, just because I have a banana parfait also in the mix that's been requested in the group on Facebook. If you guys want to join that group, make sure to check out the description below. It is called DIY Underground Vaping, and it is on Facebook. And we're just looking at ways to save people money doing this DIY thing. And if the vape holocaust comes, the vapocalypse, this is going to be our best option to vape economically. Until next time, guys, this has been Steam Room. Thank you guys for subscribing. We recently hit 1,000 subscribers, and I am blown away. I didn't think that this would go anywhere. Honestly, it was just a hobby, but I'm glad I can help some people out there. Until next time, guys, this has been Steam Room. Take it easy.
Ain't none of this shit promise, ain't none of this promise. Ain't none of this shit promise, ain't none of this promise. Ain't none of this shit certain, ain't none of it certain. Ain't none of this shit promised, ain't none of this. Ain't none of this promise. Ain't none of this shit promised, ain't none of this. Ain't none of this promise.